Good morning, my brothers and sisters. You have an anger problem if it interferes with even one relationship. This is going to be from Matthew chapter 5, verse 21. And you may say, hey, I'm not a murderous person, but is there any daylight between being an angry person and being a murderous person? Well, Jesus clearly tells us the answer, and you may not like what he says. Listen in, this is Matthew chapter 5, verse 21. You have heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not murder, and whoever murders will be liable to judgment. But I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. Whoever insults his brother will be liable to the council. Whoever says, you fool, will be liable to the hell of fire. So, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there, remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First, be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are going with him to court, lest your accuser hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you be put in prison. Truly I say to you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny. So here in the passage, anger spills over. It spills over into worship. It spills over into the church. And consideration before God is not just what others have done. Here he mentions that a brother has something against me. So in this passage, anger equals urgency. Remember, when, now, leave, when, go, now. Come to terms quickly. Come to terms independently without having any external parties like the courts involved. In the passage, anger basically equals murder. So anger puts me in judgment, liable to judgment. Reconciliation here depends upon me. And reconciliation is the first order of business. And lack of reconciliation can spill over into relationships that are human, and lack of reconciliation can spill over into relationships that are divine. So anger spills over into human strife. Now, likely in the passage here, you have been angry and your brother has had something against you, and you have insulted your brother and he has an apology coming from you. So you're supposed to be in the passage putting on your I'm sorry words and your I'm sorry actions and your I'm sorry clothes and your I'm sorry behavior. And he's also, there's a sense of urgency. Hurry, drop what you're doing, make this right. Admit that he does have something against you, and rightly so. He now, or soon to be, he's getting ready to accuse you publicly. He's saying, hey, let's get some other eyes on this. And you may even have some jail time ahead. In other words, he's in the right. So ahead, this public accusation before a judge, then a guard, then a prison, and then a penalty you basically can't get out of, or can't get out of easily for sure. I think prison is probably full of angry people. So you have an anger problem if it interferes with even a single relationship. So in conclusion, being an angry person is a poor way to live. It interferes with people, it interferes with God, it interferes with worship, and it might interfere with your liberty. So the Lord is asking us to keep short account for those who have trespassed, and also if you might be one of those people that have trespassed. So perhaps in listening, you're thinking of a relationship or something that's broken, and if so, the passage really says, go now. So what we dismissed as, that's really nothing, are spiritual red flags. So one of the big points of this passage is to take anger seriously. How seriously? As serious as murder. So are you guilty of wanting to murder someone because of your anger? So you might think that you're in the right. So let's say the source of your situation, you were in the right, but then you became angry afterwards. And in that, you can be sinful. So what you are not right in isn't what you want to do next. Harm that person, let them have it. Want to kill them, choke them to death, whatever. So you have a penalty ahead that you can't pay if that's the path you've been on. So when is this day of reconciliation and forgiveness and beautiful living and extending this fistful of mercy when you want to extend a fistful of justice? Well, the passage says to drop everything and make it right, because not making this right, it taints everything else in your life. And why is that? Well, anger doesn't conveniently stay in bounds. It's messy. It's impossible to contain. It spills into your mortal soul by your response. It interferes with your worship. It interferes with your relationships with people and the law and even your liberty. So even if you're right with whatever the situation was to start, and let's say your friend or whatever had a poor response to it, then you can still be sinful in your anger response. You can still be murderous in your response to their response to what was originally started out as just. So are you holy in your anger? Do you want to kill somebody? Has the situation made you want to break one of the 10 commandments? Thou shalt not murder. So unresolved relational strife probably means murder is being committed, or at least it's being considered. It might mean that murder is on the menu. So it's a very sobering passage. What we dismiss as, this is a dispute and I'm mad about it, has escalated to what God views, or at least in his eyes, he sees it as murder, wanting the worst for the other person, wanting them to be punished, and even to disappear permanently. So it may be true that you want to murder in your anger, and it's not by your criteria. We're not talking about your criteria. We're using God's new eyes here that Jesus is revealing to us. So it matters more how God views this, what he is saying to you, rather than what you think is right in this situation. So make peace with man, specifically the one that you're angry with, and do everything you can make this right. Take anger seriously, as serious as murder, because anger does not conveniently stay in the bounds that we have for it. It's messy and it's impossible to keep nice borders. So likely it is spilled over in God's eyes to murder committed between your ears. So go make this right and do it right away. Thanks for listening.